I'm being joined by Mr. Daniel Bwala, who is a special advisor to the president, a spokesperson to this government. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
fully clad in a Milokan outlook tonight.
Yeah, I wanted to probably establish what Babachi was saying, that there is a Yorubanization of the government. Probably I have been converted as well, because I woke up and I found myself able to say Shedada ni Kiledi Baba Timbeloru Gaboforu Kore Kijebare. So I probably would have been.
You're learning a lot, actually. Keep it up. But I mean, the first one you learned was Emilokon.
Yes, it's our turn actually.
Do you understand what that means?
Emilokon means my turn. It's my turn to bring to bear what I believe to be my vision for the Nigerian people. It is my turn to bring to bear what I believe to be the dreams I've always had as a leader, and I want to be able to bring it on board as a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's my turn because every citizen under the Constitution of Nigeria personalized the provisions of the Constitution to himself. It is my turn. Like somebody who goes to church and is praying to God, he doesn't say, God bless my neighbor alone. He says, God bless me and my family as well. It is my turn because I believe within the framework of the party, when we negotiated it, that it will come a time when it will be my turn to also run for it. So there is actually nothing wrong with the use of the word Emilekon. And now that he is governing, he has been able to prove that it's actually the turn of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu to right the wrong and put the economic structure in its proper perspective. Some of the things that my uncle is saying about the president is not a reflection of reality. While I try to avoid interrogating the choice of word that used, which I believe is not friendly and will not be good for children or people who in fact value relationship, because if you have a relationship, even when you fall out, that is what we call the rules of engagement. The president was never quoted at any time to have said anything about Babachir. Even when Babachir left the president, when you would have thought he would be the one to react, he never said anything. I mean, I left him, he never said anything. So what Uncle Babachir is saying, I believe if he is being honest with Nigerians, he should be able to separate between his personal interest and national interest. All of the vituperations, all of the expression that he was given is a reflection of his personal opinion about his self-interest in relation to his relationship with Asiwaju. But in terms of whether there is a Yorubanization of the country, I believe this conversation came some times back when we really have fact to say that stats and data does not support what he said, because the Nigerian nation is covered. There are a good number of northern Nigeria, where I come from, in this government and do creditably well. And he talked about the northern Nigeria that has been disenfranchised. Not forgetting the fact that we just had 8 years of a northern Nigerian ruler.
All right, let's take a break. And when we return, more on the issues raised by Mr. Babachir Lawal. And there's a dynamics into the mix now. Goodluck Jonathan seems to, now his name is being mentioned. If that man gets into the race, what are the hopes of the Bwala Tinubu 2027 and the APC? We'll be right back, everyone. Thanks so much, everyone. Let's get back to the conversation. Some response to what the former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, said on this program. Daniel Bwala, spokesperson to President Bwala Tinubu, has been speaking with us. Thank you so much indeed. There are a lot of issues that the man raised as to the direction of this government, whether or not this government is pitching itself against the Nigerian people, as to its policies, and whether or not Nigeria is in trouble under this government.
Nigeria is actually safe under this government, because if you look at the last 2 years and see how much we have achieved and the results coming out, which is attested to by both national and international people, you will know that this administration was able to put the country on its proper trajectory. Nigeria is safe under this administration because some of the things that could have happened, which would have plunged Nigeria in disarray and problem, have been dealt with. And people are beginning to see hope, and they are moving in the direction. The problem I have with those who come as opposition is that for the lack of ideas, for the lack of alternative, they want to pick just about anything that they see And in this case, since they have not been able to put themselves together, the only thing they can do is to stock up sentiment. That kind of thoughts around the line of Yorubanization of Nigeria is what you will think that even in beer parlor, they will discourage it and then talk about bigger and better things, than that. And then there is also a kind of conversation that will come. You will say, Bwala, I don't expect that from you because you're an elder statesman. You expect people who do not see beyond their nose to talk about that because you know for a fact that that is not the case here. After all, when Buhari was in power and you were given role, were you Fulanized?
So there are those who will say, naturally, there's that tendency. Naturally, human beings will gravitate towards the habitat which they relate better with. And it is almost natural for you to have a Hausa president that will have a lot of Hausa around him because it's natural for him. A Yoruba man will have a Yoruba man. And there are candidates in the campaign that they say, the only reason why I cannot work with that candidate is because everybody around him is Igbo. There are people like that.
Right.
But as a government, the criticism is that look at your circle. And the key positions of government are those not only from your ethnic divide, but those within your immediate circle. That, well, they've been resting in abroad, all of a sudden, you just brought them back to the country. Those were his exact words in the concentration, because he feels that the country is very sensitive. Beyond you concentrating on your immediate circle, you need to expand the circle, and the power and the core of government should not be focused on one group of people.
Every man works with he or she that believe he can work with to deliver efficiently. But the Constitution has given us a baseline, a guardrail, right? That in order for you to constitute a government in Nigeria, you must have ministers from all the states of the federation. You must constitute the government in such a way that there will not be dominance of one over the other, so that loyalty can be given to the country. And when you meet that threshold, the next thing you look at is team of people that you believe will help you. You see, like this argument he's making, if you go to the southwestern Nigeria, there are people in the southwestern Nigeria who also have certain animosity to say that he is not working with this part of the state in the southwest, or even in the southwest, he's not working with this set of people. He's working with the people that he chooses, or the people that he prefers, or the people he has been with for long. But the question is, are they working? Are they not working? Then if you look at the cycle of the president, I mean, look at the president, the vice president is not from the southwest. The national security advisor is from the northern Nigeria, from the northeast, vice president from the northeast. The chief of defense staff is from the northern Nigeria. The ministers of defense, both state and substantive and state, are from the northern Nigeria. You see the minister of state foreign affairs from the southeastern Nigeria, substantive one from the northern Nigeria. You will see minister of state petroleum from the south, from the Bayelsa state. And you see there is no state, whichever state you tell me you come from, I will find you a minister, a DG, a commissioner, an appointee of the president that is from that part of your country. So when the threshold is met, I thought he is a stakeholder in ADC. And I thought what they will come up with is to say, we disagree with their economic model. We disagree with the way they do this.
About the policies and the manner in which the CBN governor is running things at the CBN.
But he doesn't speak fact. It's sentiment.
It's dangerous to our economy.
Smart conversation will be, I disagree with the central bank governor's approach to economy. I believe it is this model he's applying. I believe he's doing this, and this is wrong. If he has taken this, or we would have done this. But it's all sentiment. That's why anytime people lack facts, because you see, you are entitled to your opinion, but what you are not entitled to is facts. So all the things he said here were his opinion. Unfortunately, they didn't help the Nigerian demographic watching the television because he was not speaking to facts.
Is this government also able to internalize some of the criticisms such that, yes, if not all of them 100% are right, but it allows you to be able to take a step backwards to say, what exactly are people saying or thinking? because it makes this government look like your critics will say that this government is aloof, doesn't really know what is going on in the country. When you say that things are going to get better, the question will be, when will it get better?
They are already getting better. But you see, when it comes to the issue of whether this government is responsible and responsive, I believe you must have reported over and over and over how that, for example, when an appointment is made and there is a backlash or outcry and the president will retract and reappoint, how that when certain decisions are made by the president and by the government, when there is a backlash and reaction, the president will withdraw from that. How that when it comes to addressing the Nigerian people, the president will give his reason for taking certain decision when there is a backlash or outcry, and then the president react. But you must separate between the outcry or backlash that come from the population of Nigeria, an agenda that is cooked by the opposition. Let me tell you what will surprise you, Sheun. In the last 1 month, the kind of results that are coming across all fronts is torturing this opposition. Torturing them, because they have not been able to come out with any credible alternative. This opposition is turning itself into Kemi Bedunok, where you lack what to talk about, you talk about Nigeria. That's what they are doing. What are those things? If the president, Bwala Tinubu, were not to be a Muslim, I am telling you, religion would have also been part of the thing that will be stocked up against him. You see? But we should be able to go beyond that. The northern Nigeria is extremely comfortable with the governance approach of Mr. President. You know why? He is solving the problems that are in the long term. And the problems in the moment, you can see conscious effort by the president through the various policy. Take, for example, when the report by World Food Program came out, I think 2 weeks ago, that certain individuals, there are people in northern Nigeria, especially the IDPs, are going to, go into death, sick. That is because of hunger and malnutrition, that many people are going to perish. What was the reaction of the government? The government, before the report, has taken steps to deal with the issue of malnutrition, to deal with healthcare issue. Now, opposition can never come here, Sheun, and talk about that. You know why? They don't have the ideas. I said this before on your show, and it bears repeating. This opposition till today have not brought up policy issue to say President Tinubu is wrong, this is how it should be. In fact, listening to them, the person who came close to even discussing policy is P2B. Unfortunately, P2B is doing catch and carry. Whenever you subject what he says to forensic analysis, it always comes out as falsehood. Now, the rest of them, now look at them and look at their trajectory. And then be able to tell Nigerians whether as a lifestyle, they have been involved in dealing with the problem of Nigerians.
But the question is, whether or not you're talking about the nitty-gritty and the details of the policy of this government,
right,
and you are puncturing whatever the criticisms are, the fact that a lot of people may not be contradict or controvert is the fact that this government made promises, and it says in the end all of these policies will bring result, but Nigerians should be patient. That is what we have heard so much on your side.
Right.
And the question that has not been answered effectively is, at what point? Is it in the 3rd year, or in the 3.5 year, or on the 4th year, or on the 5th year, that Nigerians will get out of this doldrum?
You know, I've been Yorubanized. Let me tell you this. And for the upteenth time, what we have been telling Nigerians is not going to happen tomorrow, is happening now. We told them we are going to critically look at education. We provided funding for people, and we have over 300,000 people. It is not tomorrow, Sheun. We told them we are going to look at maternal health issue. You remember the last time I was here, you even testified about cesarean section. We told them we did it. We told them we are going to look at infrastructure, because there is a decay in Nigeria. Which part of the country does not have infrastructural development going on? We talked about aviation. We even talked about food, and we provided intervention. But fundamentally, we told them the problem confronting the Nigerian state is that if we don't deal with the issue of lack of revenue, and the federating units get the money, people are going to be on the streets of Nigeria.
But you have not talked about how this government ditched the country into economic crisis.
No.
And people, no, just a moment.
Okay.
The transportation cost crisis, food cost crisis, inflation, food inflation, all of these were what this government ditched Nigeria into. And you have not told us when Nigeria is going to get out of it. Those digits that almost doubled,
right.
All those indices that almost doubled, when are we going to return into the fair line?
So this is the answer is in plain sight. When we came, the production went down. OPEC celebrated the fact that we beat the record of OPEC in production. Is it not now? Secondly, Oga,
food, I'm talking specifically transport costs.
So let me come to
I'm
food,
talking
and then
about
I'll go
food
to
costs, because these are
right.
issues that affect the more ordinary people than the Babariga wearing and the Emilokan wearing as a politician like you.
But here is the answer. The very last time I was there, which was no more than 2 weeks ago, I told you from my village, somebody who was selling food crops, a bag of this, a bag of that, for over 100,000, he struggled and saved them thinking he's going to make more money. And now they are selling for 35, 40, 55,000. It's food. It don't reduce. It don't reduce. Transportation and aviation in the last 2 years when we began the policy, it's skyrocketed. Is there not a downward trend at the moment? But the question you are asking, and I want to pose this challenge to everybody and anybody who thinks or knows a bit. You don't have to know a lot about economic. A bit about economic, and if you know something they call reform. Is it going to be automatic? We are not running abracadabra government. President Bwala Tinubu is not a magician. And there is no country of the world you will go to tonight where a reform will bring result in 24 hours. In fact, what he has done as compared to other countries, which is why international community are praising him, is that they didn't think we were going to even begin to see this result as of this moment. And this is what is happening. If this infrastructure we talked about, Dr. Sheun, you begin infrastructure, it creates job. It boosts trade. It saves people, security. And then the value chain will go like that. We talk about foreign investment. Have you heard about the kind of inflows of foreign investment in Nigeria? So sometimes when I get asked, when is the reform going to work? I wonder. We are in it already. But if you are talking of when will the final problem of the common man end, then I want to disappoint you. As long as the earth remained, the need of man will continue to be insatiable. What we are doing is putting the basic structure for the Nigerian people to achieve their dreams.
Let me take you to a rather interesting political scenario that is. And I understand that this is troubling your camp very seriously. The hearing or the sound of Goodluck Jonathan coming into the fray, I understand that it has destabilized your camp.
Let me tell you.
How troubled is the APC with that news?
Let me adjust the camp, the Melokon camp. I see that some unscrupulous elements are trying to hoodwink former President Goodluck Jonathan to come into politics so they can destroy his reputation, which after he left government, he has been building by becoming an international figure globally. And why do I say that? The southern Nigeria, where President Goodluck Jonathan comes from, have all turned to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and APC. You have seen governors coming. These are the individuals he would have relied on if he's going to run for presidency. Now, the elements that are going to him in the north, asking him to come to run, are they not the ones that chased him away? So what hope does he have that this time around they are calling him because they mean well for him? Then look at the political class that are coming together to cajole him to come into politics. I know President Goodluck Jonathan is smarter than that. But if President Jonathan decides to run, let me tell you, I have seen the political climate in Nigeria today, and I will speak to facts, not conjecture. There is not a single politician that has the capacity to knock off President Bola Tinubu.
In what sense?
In all fronts.
Let me bring some figures to the screen right now, and let's do some analysis, because in fact, I'm not just a bit under the weather. I didn't have the energy. I would have given you a bit more issues for us to chew on. But this is what I brought up a few days ago, to just give Nigerians a breakdown of how President Bwala Tinubu won the election the last time around. And if you look at it, the analysis of what is going on and what things are looking like right now, the dynamics might change. You look at where the president got his highest vote, it was in the northwest region of the country. And in fact, Kano gave him the highest vote in the northwest. Over 500,000 votes. That was what Kano gave the president. Northwest gave President Bwala Tinubu 2.6 million votes. And he got, followed by Southwest, his own, though Peter Obi beat him silly in Lagos, his home state, 2.2 million. He got an advantage in the north central and northeast region. In the south and in the southeast, it was nowhere to be found. A paltry 127 votes, 127,000 votes he got in the 5 states of the southeast, considering the fact that the APC controls 2 of the 5 states in the southeast. And look at what happened in the south, had less than 1 million votes. This is just a bit shy of what Kano alone gave him. There are those who are saying that within the first 10 states that you will look at, it's going to be a stiff competition against this president. The 2.6 million votes might not be there again in the Northwest, considering the fact that if he doesn't take any candidate from a very strong candidate, especially with President Bwala, Muhammadu Buhari dead, and he's gone with his 12 million possible votes, there's going to be a problem in the Northwest and in the Northeast for him.
You see these figures? You know why this thing is quite funny to me? This was the worst moment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's political trajectory. Do you know why? President Bola Tinubu came at a time when the odds were against him. Even members of the Southwest, I was with him in the primaries and before the primaries. I know prominent figures in the Southwest who turned their back from him. Why? Because they were hearing that a Fulani man will give to another Fulani man. So they rally around Alhaji Abubakar. The Southeast, they were trying to find a place. Majority of them tried to align with Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. The North Central, Peter Obi used dangerous rhetoric and deceived the church that he is going to take the country back to the church. And he got the number he could muster. You see this thing? This is going to be like I don't know how to describe it, but let me take you zone by zone. You see the Southeast, I guarantee you President Bola Tinubu is going to get more than 4 times, if not 6 times, the value of the vote he got. So because all the governors
get 800,000 votes or 700,000 in the Southeast, that's what you're saying?
No, he will get up to 2 million. But let me tell you.
In the Southeast?
Yes.
Where will he get that?
Let me tell you why.
How many votes are there in the Southeast?
There are lots of votes.
Yeah, but the question is that if Peter Obi is not on the ballot.
No, Peter Obi will never. He's a director general in ADC, the coalition of.
Peter Obi has 3 options on the table right now.
Which option?
PDP, Labour Party, ADC.
Let me tell you, those who were saying PDP, when he had Jonathan, immediately he said he's Labour. And why he's Labour? He said he swore he never said he's Labour. He is. He said ADC. Then he swore that he's Labour. As I tell you, he's not going to get a ticket in any of the parties. That is Peter Obi. Now, the problem now is that he might not even get the vice presidential ticket from the way things are going. But whether Peter Obi is a ticket bearer of the party, Peter Obi has lost more than 50% of his vote because they were not votes that were built on agenda and politics. They were built on rhetoric and division. And Nigerian people's eyes are open. That is one, Southeast. When you go to the South-South, when President Bola Tinubu came, you know, most of the governors were PDP governors in the South-South. Tell me a state in the South-South that is not supporting Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Even the one that the governor say, I remain a member of PDP, say, I endorse Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Other than governors that have the structures in the state, come to the Northwest. All these places we've been going in the Northwest, the governors coming out, you know, talking about the policies of the president and how they will support him. Are they not the ones with the structure?
Sounds to me like what I heard in 2014, 2015 about Goodluck Jonathan.
So I've been hearing this rhetoric. Let me tell you today. The coalition then that removed Jonathan was not this Akamu and Moi Moi coalition. No. Rochas Okorocha carried Abga on his back and came. Saraki carried a part of PDP and came. Tambuwal carry a part of PDP, I mean congregation, and came. Atiku Abubakar had his own structure. He came. Buhari came with his own structure. All of them came together from their legacy party. No disunity, no double parallel. They are intact. Ali Modu Sharif came with his own. And when they came together, these other parties, Nigerians were dissatisfied with President Jonathan.
I thought that the same thing they've done now. Atiku Abubakar, there's a Bwala.
So there's answer.
PDP. There is El-Rufai. There is Peter Obi. All of them are not longer on this side.
Let me even tell you, the coalition is the media. Because the media has to project that there is an opposition. There is no coalition. If there is a coalition in Nigeria, that coalition is in APC. We are getting governors from their place coming to us. Now, let me tell you, these people that went and gathered in ADC, tell me whether any of members of their party followed them. Let me start with my former principal. I can count to you 20 prominent people, heavy prominent people around him. They remain in PDP, they have not followed him. Peter Obi has been chased out of labor. The only people Peter Obi have is scanty. Do you know the key people of Peter Obi? Where is Valentino Zigbo? Where is Kenneth Okonkwo? Where is Bala? I can keep counting them on and on. Right. And then you come to El-Rufai. Did he deliver? We lost Senate, we lost House of Rep, we lost presidency there. Or my senior brother Malemi, as an incumbent attorney general, he couldn't win the ticket of the primaries.
We're totally out of time.
So the coalition is the media. This APC is not the coalition.
Well, they say that the APC is going to be up against the Nigerian people in the 2027 election.
And Nigerians are happy with us.
We'll see how that works.
Yes, sir.
I wish I had not won a green tie. I didn't know this was what you were putting on tonight. But thank you so much, Daniel Bwala, for joining us tonight.
My pleasure as always.